Hello, hi-fi people, hi. Kelvin here from London. Stereo Review X is my channel. I review retro hi-fi, vintage stereo amps, speakers mostly. Want to talk about these speakers and also just generally about what can be great about the right pair of speakers, yeah? So, which these are, by the way. These are Bang & Olufsen Beovox 3700. You know, they're not famous or anything like that. You know, they've got nice drivers. This is a C's tweeter. This is a really big tweeter, by the way. It probably goes into the mid-range area a little bit. It's about 40 mil across, so that's really quite big. And this is a paper cone, yeah? Now the thing I want to point out here is when they get two-way things right, yeah? Which, this is the thing, there's a ton of there's been like hundreds and hundreds of two-way speakers made. Probably only like 20 of them hit the mark, you know, or do something good. Only, you know, it's actually kind of strange, and it makes you think, why don't they just stick to making that speaker, because they got it right there, but they don't. They just keep making new ranges, and they just move on. But I've just been listening to a bunch of speakers. You know, this is one of them. Can you see that? Kef LS50. And a bunch of other speakers that are fairly modern. And these modern speakers, they're very analytical. I'm kind of finding myself always being an analyst when I listen to these speakers. You know, they kind of draw you into, they don't draw you into the music, yeah? They draw you into what they're doing or what they're not doing. What am I saying? I was listening to those speakers, and then I put these speakers on, and I just got a great big happy feeling, you know, put simply. And I was just like, oh God, this is good, you know, this is really good. And, you know, the funny thing is, it kind of flies in the face of all the hi-fi talk and information and stuff, you know. Why should a pair of speakers, you know, you'll find these for like £100 or something. I mean, they're a bit wanted now because they've got a nice retro look, yeah? They've got nice wood. They're nice. They've got this silver edge around the side. But a couple of years ago, like, no one wanted these speakers. They only want them now because of the looks, really. But the point I'm making here is they got the two-way thing right here. And this paper cone, it's very quick, yeah? It's got speed, yeah? And you've got a big tweeter there, yeah? Slightly mid-rangey. Now, here's the thing. We can't get everything we want out of our speakers, say, or our stereo, but we'll do speakers. And, you know, unless you've got £30,000 and you've got a big room and you can make a big noise, right? So the thing is, you want speakers, you want a system that gives you something good. It may not give you everything, it may not give you floor-shattering bass and articulate, spectacular mid-range and huge sound, but what it's got to do is give you something good, give you 2 out of 3, or even if it gives you 1 out of 3 and it does it so well, you can be happy with that, you know, unless you've got £20,000 to spend. And the reason it flies in the face of the hi-fi knowledge base, so to speak, is that, well, you know, no one would take any notice of these speakers, right? They would not get thought of highly. And other things, you know, like these Kef LS50s, they get talked about like they're really great things. The only thing is, I find, I mean, these are nice speakers, yeah, you know, they're not inaccurate, messy things, but I find I'm enjoying this more. I'm just enjoying it because it's giving me a certain thing in absolute abundance, which is speed, mid-range and top end. Yeah, it's not giving me bass. I mean, actually it's giving me as much bass as my little LS35As, which are like, you know, a quarter of the volume, but it just doesn't, I just don't even care because it's so enjoyable. So I'm going to go into detail about with some songs and the sound in a second, but I just want to make this point about what what you get, and I think there's a problem in the sort of mid-fi area where you don't get anything really good. Yeah, and if you're not getting anything really good, personally I get this sense of wanting, or a sense of sort of loss, or the sense of a downer. Do you know what I mean? It's just not delivering me anything good. It's delivering everything okay, but that's no good. I'd rather have certain bits in abundance, and that'll really make me happy. And it's not about distortion figures or frequency responses. I mean, these things don't want to be bad. No one wants it to be bad, but it's what I'm saying is it's not something you can do with statistics. Yeah, the nearest thing I can say is it's speed. Yeah, it's got speed. It's got a light paper cone. Yeah. So anyway, listen, I'm going to go through the songs as I usually do if you know what I do, and by the end of that you'll really know what the sound is and what's good about these particular speakers, And also there are other speakers that are just like hit the mark, it just hit something good and give you something really good in abundance, So okay, I did Take It Easy by the Eagles. Tons of voices. The voices are great. I'm totally enjoying. I'm just having such a lot of little voices and then big harmonies, and these are delivering all that sort of intricacy very quickly, because I guess they're not trying to do the low bass, so they're like spectacular mid-range units, if you like, with a little bit of bass thrown in. So I've got there. The bass isn't pumping, yeah. I'm not getting the pumping bass I normally get on those songs, but I'm getting so much lovely mid-range. I'm basically happy, I also, these are called bookshelf speakers, I put them on stands like 12 inches, 10 inches off the floor, slightly tilted up, because that'll just give me a bit more bass if I do that than if I stuck it against the wall or if I put it on a stand. Also, if I put them in corners, I'd kick a bit more bass out of it. Next song I did was Witchy Woman, the Eagles. That's got a load of interesting bass in it, which I'm not getting, right? I've got to be honest. I mean, I'm getting the bass, it's not like not got, it is a bass driver, but I'm not feeling and hearing that bass like I do on quite a lot of other speakers, but everything else is so big and spacious, it's beguiling. Yeah, it's beguiling. It's a big, interesting world that I can listen to, and the vocals all sound natural and nice. Tons of space, yeah, just a ton of space. Okay, next song, Too High, Stevie Wonder. Okay, I am getting the bass drum hits I put here, yes, and the upper bass. I mean, I can follow the bass, but I'm just not, it's not really hitting me, or I'm not really physically feeling it, or and because of the orientation of these speakers, I'm just not following that bass that much because it's orientated towards the middle, and I wrote here, the quickness is great, the speed of it, yeah, when everything happens quickly, which music does really, that is a thing in itself. And if you're not getting, what I've noticed is if you do not get that speed and quickness, it all gets a bit tiresome. That's how I think how you start becoming analytical, because somehow the music's not just grabbing you, you know, it's not just grabbing you immediately with those, what they talk about in hi-fi world as leading edges, leading sound edges that make everything immediate and quick. You're not sort of struggling to listen to see if you can hear something. It's all coming at you, you know, nicely and quickly. It's really good, you know, really good. Okay, other song I did, Alison Krauss, detailed, beguiling, spacious, the timbre, if I can use that word, of the guitar, and I think there's like a cello, not a cello, maybe a cello or a violin in there. You really get to hear the detail, the string, the box. You really get that fine detail, you know, en masse coming out, you know, because it's on a lot of modern two-ways, the bass driver isn't doing that, you know. It's a small bass driver in a port or something, but this cone in a sealed box, it's just giving me a lot of, you know, space, cone space to do those sounds. And anyway, the point is, I'm getting the sort of three-dimensional stuff there of the violins, you know, and the bass isn't happening again. I put here, I put the bass is not happening, and I don't care. It's so quick, responsive, and alive. It just feels alive. Just all happening, and you're just listening to music, you know. So this is a really quick review, but the point I'm making is you can get cheap things that sound just great. Now, if you want to put these with the right amp, you know, you could put these with some class stuff, yeah? I wouldn't put these with any sort of cheap transistory, not nice 70s amp. I wouldn't even put it with a Marantz because they're a bit spiky. And they want smoothing out and they want controlling with something. I'm playing with a name power amp. I've played these also with my Sansui 441. Sounded really good, really, because that's a nice smooth amp. But don't put it with a cheap transistory kind of spiky thing. That probably wouldn't work. But you know, the point is, these are, you know, get the combinations right, and you get something. You may not get everything, you know. I mean, if you've got loads of money, great, go and get everything, right? But if you haven't got a ton of money, you can get something that will deliver you a lot of one area, which will be really involving. And I prefer that to, you know, a little bit of everything, but nothing good, you know, nothing to get involved in, and make me, you know, just these speakers make me really happy. That's the best thing I can say. Okay, please subscribe if you like, and leave any comments, and we can talk about what sounds good in hi-fi. Okay, thanks. Bye for now.